Okay, finally. Teresa asked me a long time ago to make a video about washi tape, how I plan to use it and stuff like that. And I told her I would make a video to give her some ideas how to use washi tape. But yeah, things kept happening and stuff, and so I didn't get to it until today. But here it finally is. I'm sure that there won't be anything new in this video. I mean, I kind of hope that I have one or two unique ideas, but I somehow doubt it because it's all been done. But anyway, here are a few of my ideas of what you can do. And I guess the main thing I would say is that basically you can use washi tape or you know, decorative tape, whatever you want to call this stuff. You can basically do the same things that you can do with scrapbooking paper or a book text or whatever. Like, you can just use it like that. I'm going to draw a girl. Okay, scrap. Give her some color. I'm gonna start by I like to start with watercolor crayons because it's easier to get a base coat that way. Just to lay down the main color, and then from there you can add some more detail and whatever. It's just, I just find it easier than to do the whole thing in colored pencil. Do a little bit of shadows right in with the color. It's my favorite way to do faces these days. And maybe I'll do her hair too. And I think I'll put some yellow in there too. Eyes, I like to, I think I'll give her the typical blue eyes that I give most of my girls. So I like to start with a Sharpie. Okay, I'll do more after. I'll come back. We'll activate the color I just put down. Oh, forgot to shade her hands. Again, I will do more detail after. This is just to get the main color down. That way, when you go over the color with your colored pencils, it doesn't leave white specks everywhere because it's really hard to cover everything with colored pencil without having that happen. I think I'm going to choose this one. Okay, so now I have a piece of wax paper that's way bigger than I need. But anyway, and I'm going to use my pencil to trace the dress. And see, okay, that hopefully will be good enough. I'm going to put a piece of, I'm going to make this piece smaller so that it's easier to work with. Yeah. Okay. Now, I'm going to put a piece, I'm going to choose this washi, and I'm going to put a piece right here to see what I can see on the back. Yeah, I should still, you probably can't, but I should still be able to see good enough once I'm done putting it on to cut it out with. So I'm just going to put some washi over top, overlapping a little bit so that it'll come, I can peel it off in one piece, hopefully. That's the idea. And I'm not really, oh, I didn't overlap it good enough. But I'm not really, see, that's the reason that I'm using a piece of wax paper, so that I can easily peel it off if I need to. Now, okay, let's do it this way just to make it easier to see what I'm doing when I'm putting the tape on. Forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yeah, I'm not really matching up the pattern or anything. I'm just kind of putting it on there. Now, if you wanted to, you could choose more than one type of tape and make a pattern that way. You can, like, you could have 3 or 4 different, or all different, or whatever. Create your own pattern and make your own clothing design. Okay, that piece wasn't quite long enough, so I'm going to add some more there. And one more. Okay, now turn this around and it looks kind of neat. And go with my guidelines here to cut. Now I'm using my small pair of scissors, and I really shouldn't. I should be using scissors I designate for sticky stuff, or you know, whatever. But I'm using these mostly because they're easier to maneuver. I'm going to cut the arms so that the hands, no, that was dumb. I did that kind of in reverse. But I'm going to do it anyway just because I did it. Okay, don't throw this away. You can use this later. Yeah, I shouldn't have done that way. But I don't want to waste all this, so I'm going to go with it. Now, didn't do it quite right. But it's okay. We can still work with it. Her hands. I should have, instead of cutting it out, I was cutting out the sleeve like that. I should have cut the hands out. Well, maybe I can just do this. Hold on. Like I said, I should have planned this out better. Anyway, okay, where's my... I'm gonna cut her hands out. Not, like they're gonna still be attached, but I'm going to... Could be that my brain is working upside down and sideways like it often does. So I might have to cut them off and then put them back on. We'll see what happens. Okay, now. Okay, it might work. Basically, I've made a sticker. Oh, okay, I wanted to avoid doing that. But that's okay. So. Wouldn't it be nice if some of the things I came up with would actually work and cooperate with me? Okay, I'll fix the sleeve in a minute. It was a good idea in my head. Might not be such a good idea. I think if I had overlapped more, it wouldn't do that as badly. Well, we can always fix it with more washing. Right there, for example, I'm going to use this piece that I had from earlier and just put it on right there. And then the other part. Okay, put that one back in there. Now if you had, like, I could even have used, I didn't want to on this because this is special and I don't want to waste it and stuff. And yeah, I don't really have a lot of it, but I mean this is it's fabric tape is what I'm trying to say. And this would make a beautiful dress. If you had something in white or whatever, you could use it to make lacy trim and stuff on her dress. But this is pretty much, this is it. This is pretty much all I have for this type of tape. How are we doing back here? Okay, I should put something. For now, I'm just going to put that there. And I'll put a piece of paper or something back there later. I'm going to trim that off. Again, I should be using the scissors that are designated for this, but I'm being lazy. Put that aside. Okay. So now she has a dress. I'm going to use dark umber to do some shading and bring in some detail. Sakura jelly roll in white, and I'm going to add a little bit of a lacy trim. So basically I'm making a loop and then a loop inside the loop, and then a line, and this I learned from Meridel at the Mary Atelier, and I love it, and I've been doing it since she showed me. And I guess I might as well put some here too. A little bit harder on there because it's small. Okay, and I'm going to leave that like that for now. So you get the basic idea. I'll finish coloring her. Actually, she's dry enough, so I'll do it now. So, I usually do the hair last. I will give her some I think this is henna. Yeah, henna. And I will use this for some extra shading. Lighting is not the best, but hopefully you can see well enough. Beige. See, because I did the watercolor layer, it's easier and faster. Because I basically just need to add more color on top, and I don't have to be as precise as I would if I hadn't. Okay, I'm going to use Periwinkle for a little bit more shadowy detail. Mostly on top of where I've already been for shadow. These are pretty well good enough as they are for this part. And then a little bit more of the details again with the pencil. Just more definition. So a couple areas that need extra dark shade. Okay, now shade over what the eyelid does to the eyeball. A couple details on the fingers. Some white. Beige over the lips again. And then more henna with some darker areas. And then some white. Now for the eyes, I'm going in with Copenhagen blue, making lines, which you can't really see, but it still makes a difference. And also with Deco blue, which you can see a little bit better. And then pupil. Details with a regular pen. I always give them the same expression too, it seems. It's not really intentional, it just kind of happens. Oh, and I should put this away before I cut myself on it. Regular pencil. And secure white jelly roll to bring her to life. Now the fingernails, just a little bit of white where the nails are. Okay, now I just need to do her hair, which I almost forgot to do. It's fun to add the hair, it's a finishing touch and it makes a big difference in the appearance. So this is light umber. And as with everything else, I'm going to go in with another layer of the dark umber over top of this. Because the more layer you do, the more detail you do, the better it looks. It's just the way it is. And that's my opinion. Okay. Dark. Now with the dark, I'm just going to do a few, like, on the inner part to make it look like to give dimension. And whatever I do to the hair, I try to remember to do to the brow. And then a few strands for detail. Okay, I'm going to say that's good enough, and she's done. Okay, so that's idea number 1. And like I said, I'm sure it's been done before, nothing new. Maybe I should do a little bit of white. Not really noticeable enough to make a big enough difference. But anyway. Okay, next I'm going to choose, it's not really the right season for this because that's the poinsettia pattern, but I'm still going to use it to frame my page. So basically you can just put it along the edge. Now you can leave it so that it's the full size, or you can do like I'm about to do and fold it over so that it's thinner, and that way you decorate both sides of the page at the same time. And if it matters to you, you can do a better job than I am about putting it on straight and even and stuff like that. But yeah. Even if I tried, I would not be able to accomplish that, so just make it easier on myself, I'm going to cut that part that was too long. And you can avoid bending it like that too, warping it. This is definitely not a new idea. I've seen this done many times before. Some people do this to, like, they get a composition notebook and they do this to all the pages, and it makes a very pretty edge to the, like, that looks really pretty when you look at it on the edge. And this side, I guess I'll put some on that side even though it'll be wider. Some people are good at stuff like this. I am not one of those people. Okay, so I barely got any on this side here, but I'm good with that. Like I said, you can do a better job than I did. That's one type of border you can do. You could. I'm gonna do it only on that part there because that part is narrower, but you could do it all the way around if you wanted to. I'm going to use this peace symbol tape, and I'm going to get a piece of wax paper again. I'm going to cut a scallop using the bottom of the peace symbols as my guide for where to do that. I love this rainbow one. Okay. Now, I'm not going to throw that away. That could be a piece of a border too. And then I'm simply going to pull that off and stick it down. So you can do that. Now we see that. Okay, here's an example. There's a poinsettia here that, so you could fussy cut around just the poinsettia, or you could cut around it but less fussy, like you could do just a circle around it, and basically you've made yourself a sticker. If you do this, maybe she can have that in her hair, and then put it back in. And even though you can't really see it too well, I think it's still kind of neat. If they were snowflakes like this, you could just cut them and well, why don't I do a few of them? I'm not going to do a whole pile, but you could. It will be here forever if I do. So, like, even the butterflies, you could do this with whatever pattern that, you know, works that way. The peace symbols, these things. So a little trickier than you would think. And if you put it on a piece of wax paper, it might be easier because it's less sticky that way. This is a pretty one. Now, I pretty much only have the one size. I guess a couple of them might be a smidge wider than others, but if you happen to have the thinner stuff, like the really thin strips, you would be able to do this next idea even easier and prettier. It would work better, I think. I have 6. I have to do one more because the rule of uneven numbers, that just doesn't look right. Sorry guys, should have done 5 instead of 6. Anyway, okay, there we go. Put you there. Okay, now let's say you have some journaling to do. You could, let's see, which one will I choose? Let's try this one. Actually, let's try this one. Okay, let's say you wanted some journaling on your page, and you had some washi, and you had the kind that is, like I was saying, that is thinner, like I think some of it is like really, really thin, like the size of the width of one of these lines here. But anyway, if you don't, you can do what I'm trying to do here. You can cut it. These are the designated scissors, by the way. And you saw that it wasn't really that big of a deal to reach for it and put it down. Okay, so, and if you're particular about stuff like that, you would be able to like lightly use a ruler and lightly make a guideline for yourself for where to place it so that it's straighter. But you could might as well go the rest of the way with this piece. And I'll finish it with this right there. And now you have some lines. It is Friday, September 2nd, 2016. And I am... Okay, so you can make yourself a journaling spot basically. So you can make yourself some lines to journal on top of. Now, let's say that you want to make a title. I'll use this one. This is one of my favorite ones. You can tell because it's the one that's... It's one of the ones that's got less on it. Just for the sake of time, because we'll be here forever, I'm just going to write the word art to give you the idea. I'm going to use a Sharpie instead of a pen because you couldn't really see the pen. And I'm going to write the word art. You could write whatever word you need. Maybe I'll do fun. Also. And then you would cut the letters out. I'm only going to do one letter, or one word, I mean. And then, basically, again, you have stickers. You could do your whole sentiment this way, but we'll be here all day, especially since I can't seem to start the wax paper to peel it. I'll be back.